much for tuning in to another episode of Rich Off Passion. I have a super dope guest in the building. I am so excited to talk to this man right here. You guys may know him from my compilation project. I used all of his beats for that. And I'm always sharing. I know my students are familiar with him because I definitely show his success as a entrepreneur and a music producer. So with that being said, welcome Tone Jones on the podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm honored.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. To kick things off, I want to know, where are you currently located? I believe it's Atlanta, right?
Yep, Atlanta, Georgia.
All right, cool. Have you always been there or did you relocate there?
No, I started off in South Carolina. That's where I grew up most of my life.
What?
I'm a country boy. I
What?
came sick.
Okay.
But
That's
yeah,
what's,
I've been here since 2008, so it's about 12 years now. Wow, that's crazy. Time go fast.
man, 12 years.
That's how long I've been.
What made you move?
Well, basically where I was living, it was a mindset of, and there's nothing wrong with, how people live. It's just that everybody wanted me to pretty much get a factory job and die.
Mm-hmm,
It was like, well, I have all this stuff in my head, about what I want to do in my life, and it's not matching up with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, okay, it's another way. And then my brother-in-law, well, he wasn't my brother-in-law at the time. He was just my friend,
Mm-hmm.
reached out to me. He lived in Atlanta with his wife, and he was saying I could move up there with him and, stay with him and his wife. And, that sounded great, but the whole thing is I knew people would be mad at me for leaving. I had a lot of obligations in South Carolina.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be a problem when I told people I'm going to move to Atlanta, but it just comes to a certain point where when you want to get where you want to go, you got to make certain sacrifices.
Right.
Got to let the chips fall as they may. And that's exactly what I did. And, that's how I ended up in Atlanta.
Nice. That's what's up. Why Atlanta out of the whole world? Why there?
Well, I don't know exactly why he chose Atlanta to live there, but, when I came out here, the reason that made me want to move there is I seen all these people that look like me successful.
Yep.
Hey, they don't have to go do these jobs that they want to do. They got a business. Oh, you can actually have a business and be successful. Like, I just seen people doing things that I wasn't used to seeing.
Right.
Hey, that's happening here. That's not happening where I'm at. So
Yeah.
I need to move up here.
Yep, exactly. I feel the same way about Atlanta. I'm currently in Chicago, but I'm originally from Detroit, and I relocated here back in 2012. I almost moved to Atlanta for that same reason, but I was kind of attached to home, just based on the circumstances that was surrounding my relocation at the time. I was like, oh, I want to be close to home, but now I'm looking. I'm trying to make sure before I up jump and move again that Atlanta is the spot. And I'm noticing that everybody I run into, who I rock with, like online, and I follow, and that's, I'm a fan of their work and their work ethic, they're in Atlanta. So that's
everybody
dope.
by the traffic so bad.
Yeah, that is so dope. So I know you appear as if you're a one-man show online. Are you
Yes.
really?
I wear all the hats. I mean, not excluding my wife, like
Yeah,
she
of course.
helps me, but as far as like a actual business,
Mm-hmm.
like a person in my actual business, no, it's just me. So
Just
it's
you.
grind. It's a grind.
From the beats to the content online, editing the videos and everything.
Every single part. People don't see all that though. They think I just be doing beats in 5 minutes and sitting back eating Doritos the rest of the day, but that at all.
See, now, would you say that's contributed to your success?
Yeah, massively, but it didn't start out that way. I had to learn, through trial and error and a lot of, bad times, how to get to this type of work ethic. But initially I didn't really know, what it was going to take. I was just kind of going off, the advice that I got from other people. And then, through time, I realized, man, you just got to take what other people say and apply it and try it out. But overall, it's just going to take you throwing different things at the wall until you figure out what's going to work for you. Because people tell you their journey and what worked for them, but it's not going to work exactly the same way for you. And I
Right.
think people get it messed up with, you know.
Right. Right. That is so true. I see that especially in like the business side of things as well as, as artists. They want to compare themselves to everyone and their mama. And I try to tell them like you can't compare yourself to Drake.
Yeah,
He had a leg in, you know what I'm saying? And no telling what else, he had going on. And I know a
right.
couple of years ago, being here in Chicago, a lot of people were comparing themselves about to what's his name, Chance. And I'm just like, y'all, come on now. You
Yeah,
can't do that because Chance had a whole bunch of connects that helped him in the city that a lot of people outside the city had no clue of. So yeah, I totally agree with you on that.
yeah.
Big time.
Everybody is different.
Hmm.
Like can't copy and paste. It's not going to work exactly the same.
Right. So how many things did you try before you really hit it? Like before you were really successful, like, yes, this is gonna work. I'm good.
I can't even put a number on it. I did all kinds of stuff. I did terrible things. Like I said in the interview yesterday that I used to be a spammer. I ain't gonna lie. I'd be spamming the mess out of people on Facebook.
Mhm.
Program called Hootsuite, where you
Yep.
could tweets, Facebook,
Hmm.
and I think it was a couple other platforms you could automate too. And I just had that joint like running every minute, tweets
Yeah.
and I mean just ridiculous. And then people, I mean, it really wasn't garnering anybody really wanting to rock with me by doing
Hmm.
it, appearing as a spammer. It wasn't personal at all, And through going through that, I realized that I gotta switch it up because this ain't working.
Yeah.
So I kind of realized I got to show people my value and what's unique about me. It's
Hmm.
not here's my beats, buy my beats, or whatever the case is. I gotta really show my value and provide value even above the beats.
Hmm.
From there, I started doing things for other people. I had like this I forgot to mention this yesterday. I had this thing called Team December that I made.
Mm.
Well, it was a bunch of producers, and I just kind of reached out to all these guys and got beats from everybody and put them all in my store. And I think it was December of 2012.
Okay.
And I marketed everybody and, trying to make sure everybody eat, stuff like
Yeah.
that. I had Facebook groups,
Hmm.
dedicated production that, I had started a website for the people that was in my niche, which was Christian music producers.
Okay.
I was doing all kinds of stuff that was more so about bringing value to other people, and that brought value to me. And that
Ah,
me on that journey to figuring out what was going to work for me.
right, right. Even as a producer, you found a way to create value. Because I know
Yeah,
I know quite a few different producers now, and that's all they do is make beats. They don't really think about the value that they bring. Because I'm like, I could sit down and make a beat. You know what I'm saying? Now, it may not be on your level. It may sound like something my little nephew put together, but it's like, what else do you bring to the table outside of
right,
that? But you created opportunities for other people to work and build together.
right,
Community, basically.
exactly.
Community. Cool. That's what's up. That is what's up. Now, over these years, because I believe I read that you have been in the game since you was a kid. Like you were like a child prodigy or something.
Yeah, I started playing piano at age 3 out of nowhere.
Man.
Like it was a commercial going on TV, and I had a little toy keyboard, and then my
Yeah.
parents. The commercial went off, and I just started playing the melody from the commercial. My daddy was like, "Did you hear that?" I told my mama, "Did you hear that?" Then they came over there to me, and my dad's a musician, so of course he was
Okay.
excited. Took me under his wing from there and started nurturing that gift, and it turned into that love over time. So I can't even remember a time in my life when I didn't do music. I've been doing it so long, I don't even remember before the music, honestly. So it's
Wow. That's so dope. I've always admired people that could play by ear.
wow.
Yes. Cause I started out when I first attended college. I started out as a music major. I played the piano when I was 10.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And when I entered college, I had an ear training class. And
Mm.
that tore me up. I could not
It was
hear
tough.
nothing. It was like, you don't know what note this is. I said, I have no clue. Let me press around and find it.
Right, right.
Man, that course tore me up. So I was like, nah, this ain't for me. I'm gonna just go into business and call it a day. So I've always admired people that could just play by ear because that's truly a gift. That and then being able to write notes. So it's
Yeah,
like on both sides, the ears and then the note writing.
right,
That's really
right.
dope. At 3 years old,
At 3 years old, that's when it all started.
man, your life was already planned and destined right there.
Yep, for music.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was all other kinds of things that along the way that I thought I wanted to do. At one point, I thought I wanted to be a firefighter when I
Yeah.
was a kid, be in the army, all kinds of things. But music always was like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Come on back. I totally get that. I feel that. So over the years, we already know being a producer can get expensive, and
Yeah,
promoting yourself, definitely marketing too,
yeah,
How were you able to fund just your career as a music producer over the years? Because I know you probably started out small and got to the point where you are now. So how was that journey like financially? Were you working a job and doing this on the side, or you had
yeah.
a couple of other hustles, you walked dogs, newspapers, like like what?
I tried a couple other hustles. They ain't work, but I did have a job, especially in the beginning parts. I had a job, and when I went full time, of course, I didn't have a job at that point, so it was like grinding it out. But I already had equipment,
Okay.
so just trying to cover, you know, SoundCloud fee,
Mm-hmm.
PayPal, all that stuff, and then of
Yeah.
course trying to take care of the household. But I
Mm-hmm.
had equipment because me and my brother be done. We already had a production company that we had tried before, so we had equipment from trying to do that. So I already had all the equipment. It was more so just trying to cover fees for different services
Got
that
you.
to sell my beats. So, but I definitely didn't have a budget for marketing,
Mm-hmm.
advertisement. None, I couldn't afford none of that. It was just
Yeah.
grind, pretty much.
Yeah.
At the
Do you have one now?
what?
Like a budget for marketing and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, like that's the thing about it that's crazy. I don't even spend that much on
Okay.
advertising and marketing now because I spent so much before.
Right,
Because
right.
what happened was, I know it's a lot in the story, so I just started the point when we talk about the marketing. Right when I think it was the beginning of 2014, I was still full time. No, yeah, the beginning of 2014, and business it was not doing too great.
Mm-hmm.
Man, the car was like 3 or 4 months behind.
Wow.
So, and we was living at this apartment at the time when I was parking the car in another apartment complex.
Okay.
The repo man was finding it, to be honest with you. You know, I was in a bind.
Yeah.
And I had always heard about this site called SoundClick. I don't know if you heard about that before.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
I used
everybody,
it back in the day.
oh, you see SoundClick?
Yep, yep. I used to rap like in my teen years. That was my way into the business a little bit back home. And I was on SoundClick. Like I still got beats. I put together like 11-song demo back then, and all the beats came from SoundClick but one.
Wow. Yeah, SoundClick be that spot.
Yeah, it was.
So naturally, that's why everybody was telling me, you need to try it.
Mm-hmm.
But it costs money. And I was already in the bind. I had told the people that called me about the car, he was asking how you gonna pay. I was like, I'm just trusting God. I see what you want to tell a bill collector, but I told him that, and I was like, I'm
Right.
just saying work. So it was like I just put dollars in the advertising every week, and
Mm-hmm.
when out, a return on investment, I would keep a little bit and just keep putting in. And over time, I built up
Yeah.
to like it was crazy back then. I was spending like $300 a day at SoundClick.
Wow.
In 2014. The end of that year, I spent almost $50,000 in advertisement, and I
And
had never
nothing happened.
$50,000 a year before that point. But I spent
Wow.
advertising.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I did all that because it got me a huge following. I already kind of had a small following,
Mm-hmm.
but it was the thing that really helped me propel forward and get the audience that I needed. Because I always had the music, but I didn't have the audience.
Right.
So once I did that for a couple of years, now it's more so just doing, Instagram ads here and there and
Yeah.
content, but I don't spend a whole lot on advertising anymore.
Got you. So it
Yeah.
was the advertising and the marketing you did on SoundClick that really leveled you up in regards to the audience? Because that's what a lot of
Right.
people listen. But it was
Right.
marketing though. It was the marketing. Like I
Yeah.
gotta stress that.
It
Cause
spent
yeah,
took a lot of money.
yeah.
A whole lot of money.
Folks think talent alone is gonna get them there, but it goes well beyond that because we know you talented, but it's like it goes beyond that. I tell
That's
artists that all the time. Like I even got a shirt that says F talent, what's your work ethic like? Because
that's real.
it's
That's real.
real.
Because you can take somebody that's not even that great at something, but if they got a crazy work ethic, they'll be successful.
We see it every day.
I was just about to say I ain't trying to say nobody, but I mean, just look at the music industry we got right now. A lot of these artists, I mean, you know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
The work ethic got them where they are, man, and that's what I be trying to tell people. Because people, I hate it to be like, man, you just this way because you so talented, man. You so lucky. I'm like, luck. See, you ain't seen the work I've been putting in behind the scenes.
Right.
It was not luck. It definitely was God too.
Yep.
Through him, I was able to work and put in the work. You know what I'm saying? Pray and work, not just pray. Had to work too.
Gotta work too. Yep.
Right.
That's so key. That is so key. So how many hours do you spend now, like a week, just on producing as well as the marketing? Because I know you said you don't invest a lot, but like financially you don't invest a lot, but you put a lot of content out.
Yeah.
Like I don't see any producer putting out content like you. Maybe Curtis King, but outside of that, yeah, no. Like I don't see it.
It takes a lot. It's funny that you asked me that because now I actually do have a schedule. At one point, it was just like wake up and work until I'm sleepy and go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
In a healthy way because I have a family. I need to get my time in with my family.
Exactly.
Through time, I learned how to manage my time better. Now I have a schedule. I'm usually like actually the music part of it. I'm usually in here from like probably about 8:30, and I try to wrap it up by like 6:30.
Wow. You
Monday
better
through
than
Friday.
me.
Huh?
8 to 6:30. You better than me. I'm usually in my office 9 and I wrap up at 3.
Oh, for real?
I hope y'all hear that. He out working me, y'all. Man. Wee.
Yeah, I be in here a lot. I usually the thing is that's what time I come in, but like as far as getting up though, I get up at 4:30 every morning.
Mm-hmm.
Go out and exercise and try to get my mind right.
Yeah.
That's something that I've known the last couple of years because before that, I didn't. And I realized the importance of getting out and getting to myself and it's helped a lot. It helps with stress because, man, this stuff is stressful.
It is.
I always tell people like becoming successful is one thing, but staying and growing that success, that's a whole nother level.
Yep. That's so real. That's so real. Speaking of stress and stuff, I know you had put up a post a couple months ago. I had pulled it up and I'm like, yeah, I gotta ask him about this. You said success money doesn't fix internal issues. I battled depression at varying levels for over a decade, constantly questioning my value, worth. I thought success money would fix that. It was surprising how empty I still felt after making my first 6 figures in 2014. Stuff
Yeah.
does nothing. LOL. Internal issues are just that, internal. You can't run from what's inside. In 2017, I hit my lowest depression point. In the process of climbing out of that helped me to finally see I didn't love myself. Woo, man.
Yeah.
Man,
I
it
forgot.
was the man in the mirror the whole time. I stopped looking for external love to drive me and started loving myself. Last 3 years have been amazing. Just being transparent for anyone who needs to hear this. Love yourself today. That resonated with me personally.
Wow.
So I had to really bring that up because I mean COVID-19 really doesn't help, those that are dealing with stuff. This make it worse. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And you were dealing with your lowest point in depression when I was dealing with some issues as well. 2017 going into 2018 was a crazy point in my life personally. So
Mhm.
I wanted to ask you, I don't want to ask like what happened and get all in your business, but
Right.
what what helped you? What made you see that you didn't love yourself? And then what encouraged you to do something about it? Like, what was it that snapped you back into yourself?
Man, that's such a deep thing. I'm trying to even pinpoint. I mean, it was just so many different things, but I think kind of like one of the things that snapped for me is just my health.
Mm.
Like I was feeling horribly physically, and I was already feeling bad mentally, but because of how I felt, mentally, I was doing things like I don't know. I didn't take care of myself,
Yeah.
so that was starting to reflect that. Man, I'll be. I never even shared this before, so this is dope. But because I was eating all this crazy stuff, not really exercising, and just not taking care of myself, I would be scared that I was gonna die in my sleep.
Man.
Because I had this thing where when I would wake up and it's like my throat would be stuck together,
Mm.
and I just like gasp for air. And that used to
Mm-hmm.
happen all the time, or either sometimes my chest will start, I get a pain, and you
Yeah.
start thinking about Fred Sanford.
Fred Sanford.
Come join you, honey.
come, I'm coming to get what he say? I'm coming to get you or something.
Yeah.
Wife.
I'm thinking about all that. I'm like, I'm in a bad spot, but I ain't ready to die yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a level. I can do better than dying right now. So I
Right.
was like, but I can't stop letting what other people say about me, how other people feel about me, determine how I feel about myself. That was the issue.
Mm-hmm.
It all stemmed from being a kid, and I mean it's like a common thing now. But my parents broke up, and that's like super common now. But
Yeah.
at the time, I don't really think it was common as it is now, but it really hit me hard when they broke up, and
Mm-hmm.
I went through
How
the
old were
whole.
you?
I was, let's see, they broke up when I was about to go to 8th grade.
Mm.
So
About
I'm
12, 13, something like that.
yeah, probably about 12 or 13. I was about to say I suck at math, but I ain't about to try to tell you something like that.
Yeah.
It was right before high school, and we moved to another city, and you know I was trying to make new friends, and I started eating a lot to deal with all that stuff, and I blew up. I
Mm-hmm.
gained a lot of weight real fast to the point
Mm-hmm.
that I was wearing jackets when I went to school in the summertime to try to cover up.
Covered. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then people start picking on me when we moved back to our hometown I got in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I picked on in school. It was just a lot of stuff going on in my mind,
Yeah.
and them there. And the whole time I can say that I use music to more so cover that up. You
Mm-hmm.
know, when I feel a certain way, I put it in my music, and that's great and all. But when I'm not making music
Yeah.
by myself,
Yep.
you know, it hits me.
Yep.
It was just a whole process of trying to figure out the root of all the stuff that was going on with me,
Mm-hmm.
and figuring out that what, I don't need external validation or love anymore. I'm loving myself for me, no matter what people think, what people say, and I just started loving myself pretty much. I started
Yeah.
doing for myself, taking time out for myself. I started going on personal vacations.
Mm-hmm.
My thing now is I love going to Destin. I love going out there and getting out of water, and that's just my thing. Corona done messed it up right now, but
Right. You said
ain't
go
no
where? Where?
Destin, Florida.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's the
Nice.
place to go because it's the
Yeah.
pretty water and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So just doing for me. That's what got me out of that hole. Is started paying more attention to myself, not
Mm-hmm.
from a selfish standpoint, but just paying more attention to my needs.
Yeah. That's so
And
dope.
confidence back.
Yeah. That's so dope that you said that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Cause
You're
I
welcome.
think not only that resonates and affects me, but I know quite a few people that watch this is gonna hit them as well. Cause I know, especially some of my students, they're going through their own troubles now, and then Corona on top of that.
Yeah.
And they're young too. They are, I want to say like their early 20s, early mid 20s. And
Uh,
that generation, they're going through it big time, like just on a regular everyday level, they
yeah.
going through it. So I appreciate you being so open and transparent with that. And I noticed that as well. Being out in nature and just clearing your mind, being outside, it helps so much. That's another reason why I want to move down there with y'all. Because the winter's here.
Yeah. Oh man, it's like,
Oh,
oh, snow already up there.
not yet. It may snow tomorrow. I don't know. It's
Close enough, huh?
mad. Like, and everybody's talking about that. Like, what are we gonna do this winter? Is we got to deal with the snow, and now Corona. Like,
Oh, a
yeah,
lot. Uh,
it's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. So yeah, I definitely appreciate you sharing that. And
definitely.
I know too, music helps. Like that's how I actually got into it. Music helped me. I lost my father when I was 10.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and like me and my mom came home and found him dead. And
Gee.
I remember that like it was yesterday. And he was the one that actually got me involved in music, picking apart the songs and the instrumentation. Cause you know, my parents, they were set, they were in their music was the 70s music. You know, that was their
Oh
era in
yeah.
regards to music. So we sitting there listening to songs and picking stuff apart, listen to the different instruments and whatnot. So I felt like dealing with his death and then my sister passed 10 years later, music was what kept me sane.
Mm-hmm.
Like my entire life, as far back as I can remember, it was.
Right.
So, like you, it's hard to do anything else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, because I had dead end jobs just like you. That's why your story resonated so much. And I posted not too long ago, earlier this week, it was a Beyonce post. And I'm like, if it was up to everybody, I would still be at a call center on the phone.
Oh wow.
I saw in one of your interviews, you mentioned being a bill collector. I'm like, yep,
Yeah.
did that too.
Oh, that is not the life.
It's not the life.
Not
Not
the
at
life.
all. So I'm like, if it was up to everybody, I would still be in a call center or at the casino working there, doing something crazy.
Mm,
But music was always, it always brought me back. Like you need to do something over here, you know, the business side or A&R and something or something. You got to stay over here because it kept the mental health in check, you know?
all right.
So I totally get that. That is so key. So would you say that making music now keeps you motivated and inspired, or do you have something outside of music that keeps
Well,
you motivated and inspired?
well, now I guess it's cliche, but a lot of it has to do with my daughter,
Okay.
seeing her grow up, and my whole thing. I just want to make the best life and situation for
Yeah.
her,
Yeah.
set for success.
Mm-hmm.
Give her tools that I didn't have or my parents didn't have, but not giving everything away, still instilling her to work, the work ethic and stuff like that. But just giving her a helping hand and working on her mentality. I really want her to get out here and come to the game with a different mindset than I
Yeah.
did when I was first coming out, not feeling like you gotta, do what everybody else say you need to do. I want her to find her lane
Mm-hmm.
early as she can and start working towards that. So that's mainly what it is, doing what I do. It helps her to succeed. I've been able
Right.
to put wonderful school, wonderful
Mm-hmm.
private school, and man, it's just taking her education so high, being
Nice.
compared to the other places she used to be. And, of
Mm-hmm.
course, wife as well, she hadn't had to work in years. And, I've been trying to help her to figure out what it is that she wants to do. And,
Yeah.
all the people around me, my mother, want to help her and put her in a better situation. So it's like more so besides just the music, it's the desire to see everybody around me succeed. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's great that I'm succeeding and
Mm-hmm.
taking care of immediate family, but I want everybody to
Yeah.
be, super crazy good, so
Yeah.
that's work so hard so I can be able to put everybody else in position too.
Yeah.
You know,
What's your sign? What's your sign?
my,
Your
my son.
zodiac.
Oh, I don't even know. I'm not
When's your
all
birthday?
June, June 12th. I don't know nothing about that stuff. I told her yesterday, I'll be in a dungeon. It could be fire going on. I don't know. I'll just be in here. I'll be gone. I don't even know.
Focus, man. That's focus. Focus. Hilarious. So, would you say like right now your family's your support system? Like when you go through dark moments, you go grab your daughter and y'all have fun, or
Yeah,
like what's your support system now?
my family, my daughter, my wife, my brother-in-law, my
Mm-hmm.
father, especially, he played a crucial. Is not even. I can't even. I can't even put into words how much this man has inspired me and helped me get to the next level. Like he's seen all this before I did. Like
Wow. Your
like
father-in-law.
my father-in-law. Like
Wow.
I had met him in South Carolina way before we
Mm-hmm.
even moved out here, and he told me way back there years ago that he see me moving to Atlanta, being successful and getting married and having all these bank accounts and all these different things. And I'm in struggle mode at the time. So I'm like, I hear you. I can't see it. My brain ain't allowing me to see that, but I hear you though. And
Yeah.
then everything he said, it happened.
Wow.
So he's a big part of that, because he's given me so much guidance, and he done set me straight a few times, even with this whole beat thing, because at one point, I guess I'll say I was super religious at one point, and I was tripping. I only wanted to work with Christian artists,
Mm-hmm.
because I guess that's just where I was at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And and it's crazy. He's a pastor. He's the one that told me, you need to open your gift up to the world. And I was like, I don't agree with that, Pops. I don't agree with that. I was working on a route at the time, and I was riding on that route that day, and it just so happened somebody was supposed to pay for some beats, and I was counting on that because I had some bills I needed to pay. And they was like, man, I'm sorry, bro. I ain't gonna be able to. I'm like, and then all I heard in my head was like, Tony, you need to open your gift up to the world. So when I got back to the crib, I was like, you know what, Pops, you right. So, he's always given me those key words that kind of kept me on the straight. Like without him, I would not be where I am at all.
Wow.
Like he's been a major part of that. Definitely.
Wow. Wow, that's beautiful. The father-in-law. That's rare.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is rare. That's amazing.
Him and my mother-in-law, like they
Yeah.
really the bat for me, so I really appreciate them.
Mm-hmm. And they're in Atlanta too, right?
Yep.
That whole side of the family. Got you.
They let me marry their daughter, and I ain't have nothing.
Mm.
I ain't have nothing. She saw it in me. They,
Yeah.
but I ain't
They
even
saw
seen,
you. Yeah.
and they, I literally didn't have a job when I got married.
Wow.
So
They saw you before you saw yourself.
exactly.
Yeah. And it's really good to have people like that around, because this industry alone is hard. Like music alone is just insane. And I think in order to have success on whatever level you're trying to be on, because there's levels in this, it's so important to have the right people around you.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
is so important. So that is so amazing that you got that. Woo!
Yeah, it's a blessing. I can't even lie. It's, God orchestrated that thing because I couldn't have
Big
put it.
time. Big
Like
time.
I told him yesterday, when I came to Atlanta, I wasn't in my mind. I wasn't coming out here to get married right away and
Mm-hmm.
all this other stuff. I was coming out here to do some music and to get into some girls. That's what was on. I came here. I'm a virgin. I'm
Uh-huh.
fresh out of my mama house.
Yeah.
But God, He had totally different plans for me, and
Wow.
He definitely threw me a curveball, but I appreciate it.
For real. For real. So when you first moved to Atlanta, like what was the scene like? Because right now you say that you pretty much you stay in the studio working,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
do you ever like get out? You know, was there ever a point where you were out and about, and what was that like and compared to now?
Well, at that time when I first came out, me and my brother B Dunn, we had a music production company, and we was trying to get placements at that time, so we was out.
Okay.
We did beat battles. We was at all these events, meeting all these people, just kind of playing the scene at that time. But after I got into the online thing, and after I got to this level of success, that's pretty much been my focus.
Mm,
I do go to certain events,
hmm.
but at this point in the game, I'm just very choosy about what I dedicate my time to.
Yeah.
my mental, my energy too, because
Yes.
make sure I'm focused. So
Yep.
I'm on to every event. You know what I'm saying? I can't do business with everybody. It's like
Yep.
it's a thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't go out as much as I want to. As I probably should go out a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
You go out a lot now. I definitely ain't going away right now.
Oh no, not
But,
now at all. Stay in the house.
yeah, yeah, because I don't want to bring nothing home. You know, to my.
Exactly.
So, but you
Exactly.
know, when Corona chill out, you know, I definitely want to get out there and go to a few things. I went, you know, A3C is out here.
Yep.
I've been here for a while, and I just went to it for the first time.
Really? I've been 3 times.
Really?
Yeah, I love A3C. I love that conference. It's just dope. I always go to the
Yeah.
conference and not the festival.
What did I do? Hold on? What's the difference?
Well, you got the conference where they have all the different panels and stuff for like a week, and then the weekend is where they have the festival where it's a show, a concert.
Oh yeah, I did the conference then. Yeah, I didn't
Okay.
know about the festival.
Yeah. Yeah. I always get a conference ticket. Then before the fest, I go home.
I
I go
don't
home.
blame
Like,
you. I don't blame you.
yeah, I don't deal with like big crowds like that because it's always something that pops off. And the last time I went,
Yeah.
it was something that popped off. It was the couple years ago when Lil Wayne headlined it. And
Mm,
something popped off. It was all over the internet, and I'm like, "Yep, I'm glad I left and didn't stay." I walked the grounds during the day just to see it, but I'm like, "Nope, I'm glad I'm leaving."
yeah, stuff
Always
like
something to pop off,
that irritate me, man. Why
big
can't we
time.
all come together and do stuff? Why somebody gotta start acting a fool?
Always, it's always something, and I'm. You will not catch me there. I
Uh-uh.
do not want to get caught up in no mix at
I
all.
got that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a dope conference. I highly recommend it once everything opens back up. It's something that I would go to every year if I could, It's just I just like it.
Yeah,
Um so that's what's up. Okay. So as far as Atlanta goes, I know you say now you pretty much just work.
yeah.
Now, I wanted to get into and touch on this, the fact that you found a lane,
Mm-hmm.
right? In online producing and just ran with it. Did you have a bad experience when you were trying to be a part of the traditional music industry? Because I
Did
love the fact that you are so successful without being a part of that. I'm trying to grow up and be like you, to be
I?
honest. Because every artist I work with, they want to be a part of the traditional
Right.
mainstream music business. I don't want to be a part of it because they crazy over there. And
Yeah,
like you got to protect your mental energy, your mental health, and just everything. Your life sometimes because they do some crazy stuff over there
yeah,
too. You got to
yeah.
protect everything. So what was it with you that like did you have a bad experience that made you focus on this?
Did I? That's what I said. If I was like, did I? Man, you know, it was just so many. I, the thing is, I never had anything bad happen to where I got really screwed over because things never progressed to that point.
Got to that. Yeah.
I was dealing with people that would have screwed me over,
Hmm. Hmm.
but it was just a lot of situations I got into when my whole mental at that time is, you know, I'm looking for this opportunity. So when somebody throws something at me, they see my talent, and of course they'll tell me they're gonna give me the world pretty much. And
Yep.
so I signing contracts like nothing.
Hmm.
I kept over and over getting me into these situations where I would get into them and get promised the world and nothing would happen. And you know, I'm every time I'm telling my wife, yeah, we about to do this, and then it's nothing. So then she looking at me like, nigga, was you crazy? You know, and I'm like, I'm looking crazy out here right now. You know, I was
Mhm.
even in a session one time. I'm trying to figure out how to do this without. I hope they don't watch it, but it was this guy. I don't think he rap no more anyway. But man, this guy was wild, man. Like he was drinking liquor like water.
Mm.
Ain't never seen nobody drink like that. You
Mhm.
know, have a glass, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? You just chilling or whatever the case is. But I'm talking like he was tossing it back all day.
Wow.
Like, bro, do you have a liver? And he
Mm.
was wilding with it. He had guns in the studio.
Mhm.
And it was just one of those types of environments where I don't know what can happen at this point.
Yeah.
It's like, real suspect people in there, and a bunch of like real skanky type
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
people there. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
this is not what I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. And then, the guy with all the cars in the world and stuff and all the jewelry and the money telling us he gonna do this and that, sign us the labels, and nothing happened. And then I can't even count how many managers I done had, what I'm
Yeah.
saying, today that, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I can't even put the blame on any of those people. It was just that I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know my value. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting my stuff in their hands when they really don't know
Mm-hmm.
what to do for me either.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, nothing crazy ever happened though, thank God. In
Yeah.
all those situations, I signed contracts, but they all expired, and everything was all right. But
Yeah.
it was more so it was more so me want to control, have something I can build and control and scale and be consistent
Mm-hmm.
income for my family. Because at this point, that's what I'm about.
Yep.
I'm about consistent income, paying these bills, taking care of my family, not having to bother nobody
Yeah.
about getting my money.
Yep.
So that's
Yep.
what comes to that lane. I know that was a
Yeah.
long tangent, but
Nah, that was perfect. Because I think that you're in the perfect lane where you can just make a beat, do what you love, and then put it out there and people pay for it. That's
yeah,
crazy. Like, man,
yeah,
I wish I could make a beat. I tell producers that all the time, especially the up and coming ones. Like, you guys are in a really good position because you have something that's needed. Like, there's a demand for beats, and then if you have a certain sound and style, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? They could be like you,
yeah,
because your music has such, it just has body to it. It just has layers and instrumentation, and it takes you on the journey. Like, that's the music I love. So it's like you have your signature sound. Like, I can hear it and be like, yep, that's Tone Jones for sure. That's him. He got about 15 horns in there.
hey, sometimes it might be like that for real.
But it sounds so good. I'm like, I bet his stems are crazy.
Oh, don't even get started on that. I had 100-track sessions.
I was gonna say, do you ever like have to strip some down?
Yeah, well, I try to bounce things down and group certain things to try to make it not as bad. But the thing is, and I was telling my brother this the other day, the way I do my files,
Mm-hmm.
I'll make it to where it's very easy because I've at one point I was doing mixing for people. I'll never do that again. But I was mixing for people, and I get these files from these producers, and the levels be all over the place. The files be named all.
Wow.
I'm like, yo. But because I do my files a certain way, I actually get a lot of business from engineers recommending me to
Mm-hmm.
artists.
They clean.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm telling people, make sure your file's straight and make sure
Yeah.
you mix your stuff and not just slap a limiter on there and hope it sounds
Mm-hmm.
good.
Mm-hmm.
When them engineers get them files, the truth is gonna be seen.
Exactly. Exactly. We was working with one with my artist. He used your what did you call it? Feels Like Sunday. He used
Yeah.
that beat for his song Blessed. And when we sent her the stems for it, she was like, wow, like this all right. I don't have to do much to it. I'm like,
Right.
good. That's good to hear. That
Yep.
was like the first song or first beat of yours that I bought the stems
Oh,
for. And I was like, yep, cool, cool. That was, it was good. So I'm like, I'm gonna use all his stuff.
that's for the engineers, man. It's hard out here for them. These producers be making like a couple of bars of music, and then the engineers be having to pretty much make the beat. Man, I done
Mm-hmm.
seen it.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be that way, man. These engineers be working too hard, so I try to make
Yeah.
it easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
And
don't.
and even with now what you say?
I said they don't get no love.
Not at all. Not at all. It's a tough job. I sit and watch and just be like in awe. Like, yeah, producing the beat, but now making sure it sounds good because they could make
Right.
or break that song big time.
Right.
They could make or break it in a heartbeat. So I be telling my artists, y'all go in there and be nice to them.
Yep.
you better bring them a bottle or something.
Right. Their life is in their hands, literally.
Exactly. Because that beat could sound so good, and they go in there and make it sound better
Yeah,
or worse. It could go
right,
either way.
right.
So I totally feel that. That's what's up, though. Yeah, that whole project I did, Currency Exchange, had every track on there was one of your beats. And I said I wanted to do it because I love the fact that your music is so diverse. You can go hardcore, gutter, gangster, but then you got like Feels Like Sunday and
Right.
the choir in there. You know what I'm saying? And then you got R&B. Like, you offer so much. Goes back to what you were saying about how your father-in-law told you, like, share it with the world.
Yeah.
You cover everything, but it's still you.
Yeah.
It still has your sound. Like, you can tell this is Tone Jones. Like, without hearing your tag, this is him. So I love that. That's why I really wanted to use all your beats for my project, because I felt like if anyone could rap on your beat, they talented, because you got so much going on. You know what I'm saying? Some people may say, oh, it's a lot going on, I want something simple and, two notes and that's it. And I'm like, no. Like, I'm not rock. I'm not putting my name on that. We need instruments.
Right.
Okay. I need some layers. If I listen to you, I need to be taken on a journey.
Right.
So I picked all the artists. I was listening to all your stuff, like one by one, like, oh, I hear this person on it, hear that person. And I sent it to them, sent them like 5 beats, just threw some in there. And they all of them picked my first choice of your
Wow.
beat. They picked the first choice because it's like your sound is just like that. It's just so, it's just good. It's just good. I don't know any other way to put it. And I
That,
was I was surprised how they hopped on it, wrote to it, and just wrote it. We didn't have to change anything. We didn't have to change the mix. We didn't have to take anything out. We left everything in. We may have took something out for the hook, something like that, threw
yeah.
in some sound effects. One song I put a lion roaring in it, and it came out so good.
Right.
But it was just perfect. So anytime someone's like, yeah, I'm looking for a producer, or I want to get some tracks and leave some tracks, your name is the first one I throw out. Honestly, the only one, really, because I know some other ones, but I'm really in tune to your work. And I just think,
Thank
you just doing, it's the talent, but also the work ethic. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on, is just to make sure people see that you could be as talented as can be, but with the work ethic, they can be you,
you. Yeah.
because it shows. Like, you doing amazing things just by being locked up in your house. And I think that is so dope. It's admirable. I'm like, I'm over here taking notes myself. Like, I need to this the level I'm talking about. Like, I don't want to go out. If I go out, it's with my family. That's it. But
Right.
that's real dope. That's real dope. So, last question I got for you. What advice would you give to younger creatives who have time and less responsibilities on their hands? And when I say creatives, I would like to hear your perspective as a producer. Like, what advice would you give a producer as well as an artist right
Mhm.
now, from your perspective and with your success online and the marketing and the whole nine?
Wow, that's a dope question. It's always hard when this question comes because it's so many things I could say, but you add extra twist in there when you said, you know, not really that many responsibilities and a lot of time. Man, go hard, try everything.
Yeah.
Once you get a family, it's a blessing. It's definitely a blessing, but it becomes a thing when you really got your time management skills got to be even better with that, because you got to make sure you putting in adequate time for your family. So if you ain't got no responsibilities, no family, no kids, and you got time, oh
No
man,
excuse.
get off of this right now and go work.
Right. And
Try
that's
everything.
why I threw that in there, because I know a lot of artists now that's just lazy, and it irritates the mess out of me.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are y'all doing?
It's the get it now generation. It's the microwave, everything fast. And I love social media, but kind of some of it
It's
comes with,
distracting.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Like, I got a friend, he like, man, trying to get in contact with you is trying to, like, it's almost like trying to get in contact with the president. Because literally when I'm working, this phone is not by me.
Yeah.
Like, I turn it off a lot of times.
Yeah.
It's off all day because
Mm-hmm.
it's so distracting. Phones are a blessing, but they one of the most distracting
Yep.
things on this planet when it comes to getting stuff done. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, it's so important to put in the work, but at the same time make sure you cut down your distractions. So, I mean, you literally gotta forget the world and go hard for what you're trying to do. You can't be
Yeah.
out here, and you gotta, some people you might have to cut off.
Mm-hmm.
Even sometimes it might be day ones. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
people gonna feel some type of way. But if you're trying to get to a certain level, you gotta get so fed up with your situation that you ain't gonna take nothing from nobody. You gonna, like, when I was trying to get to this level before I moved to Atlanta, I cut everything off.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped going out. I was in the house making music. I was getting some word in, some scriptures in,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. I got up and did music, got my word in. I had my goals on the wall. I had a poster board. I put all my goals on the wall right by the bed.
Mm-hmm.
So first thing I saw when I got up, the last thing I saw before I went to sleep.
Yep.
And
Yep.
put my mind consumed with this and that alone.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to get real hungry for what you want to do. You can't just, if people get mad because you can't go out to the club with them or whatever the case is, that's all right. That'd be all right.
They'll be all right. Club will
Go
be
out.
there. Yep.
Yeah, but it's a lot I could say to that, but I guess that might work because it's a big part of it.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, because some of them don't have kids, or they do, but they not, with them 24/7. They
Yeah,
not being parents. They got kids, but they not parents.
yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
it's, and I'm just like, what are y'all doing? It don't make no sense. So
And don't
yeah,
complain either. Don't be complaining and you not putting in the work. It's
for
like,
real.
what you expect? But that's how it is now, though.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I put the type of stuff I put on Instagram to try to remind people
Yeah.
of work. And it's one of those things that sometimes I get, crazy comments about because people don't want to hear it, but I don't care. I'm gonna keep saying it because it's the truth.
Yeah.
You got to
Proof
work,
is in the pudding. You
right?
know what I'm saying? Like everything you've accomplished, acquired over the years, bank account probably the proof is there.
Yeah,
you know, like that's what it is. That's what it takes. In order to have success.
right.
And they don't get that. Now, what would you say to those that have responsibilities?
Now, see that one is a little bit harder because that brings up some other things because that's something I struggle with at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning because I was already married and I already had a child
Mm-hmm.
when I was full time. And I mean, I pretty much abandoned all the people that was in South Carolina, like my other family, to focus on my music. And
Mm-hmm.
I would have did that a little bit better, man, because I didn't balance my time properly. I was so much about trying to get this music done that honestly, I wasn't even that great of a father at the beginning, to be honest with you, or a
Got you.
husband. And my grandmother, we had a super close relationship, and
Mm-hmm.
I was missing her calls left and right because I was so focused on trying to get this music done. And I'll never forget, man. She called me this week, and I was like, well, I'll just call her back this weekend. And I got up that morning and made me some breakfast. Before I could take a bite, my mama called me and told me my grandma died.
Oh my God.
And that thing just like blew my mind. I was like,
Wow.
bruh, it really put things in perspective,
Yeah.
and so as bad of a situation as that was, it helped me see that, yeah, you got to make this thing pop off, but family, once they gone, they gone.
Mm-hmm.
Replace that. You can make another beat, you can replace a dollar, but you can't replace family, you can't replace time.
All right.
So you got to value those things. So if you do have, family, kids, all that type of stuff, go hard for what you need to do, but don't abandon your family and the people you love because it's not worth losing them at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Woo. Woo. Gems. That's real. That's so real. Like even me, I want to relocate to Atlanta, but I'm taking into consideration my mother, because that's all I have left as far as like immediate family goes, and she'll be 70 next year, retired 3 years ago. So she ready to move herself. She like, where we
Right.
going? So I tell people, like, I can't just up jump and relocate. I have to think about what will be best for her in her old age as well. And she's caring for my little nephew who is 7. He's 7 going on
Mhm.
like 15. So even with him, think you know everything. So I'm
I,
like, all right, I got to take that into consideration as well. So that question, I'm a little bit of both. I don't have a lot of personal, like traditional responsibilities. Mine
yeah,
is stemmed from, stuff that happened in the past and fell
yeah,
on me basically. So I totally, I feel you on both. Like, if you don't have no responsibilities, you just gotta take it. Because as we get older, the responsibility is just gonna come. That's
yeah.
just part of life.
One more.
It's part of life, part of living, part of everything. Our culture here in
Yeah,
America, you just got to go hard, and if you do, find balance. So definitely, I appreciate you. I appreciate you sharing that.
definitely, definitely.
So where people can find you, I know where I can find you, but where can the public find you?
I mean, you can pretty much find me on Instagram. That's where I do all my social media
That's
on
the number one, huh?
That's the number one at official T Jones. You can follow me there to see the personal side of me. But as far as like my work, just go to tonejones.com to check out my music. If you need sample packs or anything like that, go to jonetones.com. So tonejones.com for beats, jonetones.com for samples.
Boom. I'm gonna put all that in the description.
Thank
Cool,
you.
that's what's up. So, Mr. Tone Jones, I appreciate you coming on. This was a really good conversation. Hopefully we could, connect and do something in the future, but I definitely appreciate your time and your transparency. So, with that being said, thanks again. And everyone else, I'll catch y'all in the next episode. Peace.
Be blessed.